Let's talk about the security situation in Katsina State. There's been a mosque attack by bandits, and now 32 people have died as a result of that mosque attack. And this is coming amidst wins, I must say, even by, security agencies, the NSA speaking to the arrest of those 2 terrorists involved in the Kuje prison break. But we still have issues around insecurity in parts of the country. So we must look at the full picture and ensure that no one is left behind in this fight against insecurity. And we're joined on the program this morning by former Special Advisor to former Katsina State Governor on Security Matters, also retired Director in the DSS, who's now a private security consultant on peace building and community policing, Mr. Ibrahim Katsina joins us virtually on the program this morning. You're welcome to the program, Mr. Katsina.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, we're trying to keep up, particularly with what we're hearing from Katsina State. So maybe give us a backstory. I mean, these worshippers went to pray. That is the safest place. That's meant to be one of the safest places, a religious house. But what they met with was not safety, was not peace. It was death. So perhaps you can walk us through what exactly played out up until that moment, Mr. Ahmad Katsina.
Actually, what we're facing is a sort of community banditry. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you.
What we're facing in Katsina is actually community banditry that needs a whole society approach to understand the dynamics of the problem. Because the way things are going now is it appears as if these bandits have understood the psychology of the people and are cashing on that and have now crossed all the boundary of peaceful coexistence. These bandits are from the affected communities. That's one thing we should understand. They are known by members of the communities, and from the information we are getting, it appears it was a reprisal attack. So I think what we need to do is to understand the dynamics of this threat, involve the communities concerned in addressing this problem, because one, the security forces, as I understood, are overwhelmed. They're trying their best to see that they overcome this situation, but unfortunately, the number of security forces is not enough. And the dynamics of the crime is widening by the day. So we need a whole society approach. Let members of the communities be involved. And especially what the state government is doing now by enhancing community policing, involving community watch, using members of the communities to assist in fighting this crime and criminality. And above all, I think some of the local governments have started reaching out to the bandits, dialoguing with them to understand what are the actual factors responsible for this. Because I think if we continue to fight this problem without understanding the factors responsible, we'll be moving in the reverse gear. Actually, there are undercurrents, there are some dynamics, there are some problems that led to these attacks. They cannot just happen overnight. So I think what we need to do is let us involve everybody in the communities concerned, traditional rulers, religious leaders, the security agencies, the government. Let us sit on a round table. These bandits, these criminals have their representatives. They are in these local communities. They can be reached out. Let us discuss what is causing all this problem. I think if we evolve a whole society approach, it can help us to go to the roots of this problem and deal with it squarely. Because actually, we're in a rainy season now, the terrain is too bad, they cannot be accessed easily by the security forces. But the local communities concerned know their location. So I think if we involve the traditional rulers there, the community leaders, the government should sit with them. They can identify the leaders of these criminal elements and do the needful. Because unless we evolve a whole society approach, from top to bottom, this crime and criminality will continue. But actually, they have crossed the deadline. It's terrible. How can you attack innocent worshippers in a mosque, which is supposed to be the most peaceful place on earth? So there are two colors, and I think they need to be dominated and dealt with squarely. But we need a whole society approach to deal with this challenge.
It's a sad situation that we found ourselves that people are being killed in this manner, and it's almost something that we have decided to live with. If we take the death toll of the people that are being killed, whether via insurgency or farmer-header clash or some other forms of violent attack, it feels like we are at war. So it's anybody who says Nigeria is at war is technically saying almost the right thing, even though we're not in full-blown war. But the death toll seems to represent a perception of a country at war. How do we manage this? Let's use this Katsina incident now. As you said, the safest place. In fact, if some killers have conscience, if you run into places of worship where people subscribe to any form of deity, that's supposed to be some form of a safe haven. But when those places are now slaughter places, slaughter houses, it becomes very disturbing as far as this is concerned. What do you think is the message that these killers are always trying to send whenever they deliberately do some of the things they do, like what we're seeing in the Katsina Mosque attack?
Well, the first message I understood is that these criminals are worse than animals. They have no conscience, they have no manners, and I don't think they have religion. Therefore, there's no religion that tolerates somebody to attack somebody in a place of worship. There's no religion that tolerates that. So I think what we should do is, as I said, these are community-based problems. Let us evolve community-based solutions. Because the issue is that I am sure if we make a case study of this attack, those that have done the attacks are known. Their communities are known. They are located within the area. So I think what the government should do is they should set up a serious investigation team that will use the traditional institution, the community leaders in the affected areas to identify those that are responsible. If possible, call them for discussions and see what led to this attack. Because you see, the pockets of attacks we are having in the Northwest, in most cases, appears to be reprisal attacks between this community and the other. So what we should do is we should not overwhelm the activities of the security agencies now by abandoning community concerns. Let us use the communities now. Members of the traditional institution, I'm telling you, can play a very vital role here if you involve them and give them a specific role to play. Let them call those that are responsible. I am sure they can identify the leaders of these criminal elements. That's why I say it's a local problem. It's a community-based problem. Let members of the communities be involved. Let us discuss. Let us find solution. Because after every protracted conflict, there must be dialogue. There must be discussions to understand the dynamics of the problem. And unless we address the factors responsible, as I said earlier, the problem will continue to reoccur. So I think what we should do now is let the government involve the traditional communities in the affected area, the religious leaders, let them give them the intelligence at the local level as to those that are suspected to be involved. After identifying them, they have their leaders, they have their communities. They can reach out to them because as done in other local governments in the state, when they reach out for dialogue, they identify the leaders of the criminal elements and discuss with them like what happened in Jibia, in Damusa, in Safana, and some other local governments in the area. So I think what we should do in the case of Malumfashi now, I know tempers are high, people are disturbed, but let us calm down. It's sympathetic, it's callous, it's too bad. But when tempers are high, we should not lose our senses. We should do the needful. On the other hand, the federal government forces, should try as much as possible to dominate the scene, because when criminal elements commit crime and there's no corresponding punishment,
right,
it is encouraging others. So as the government security forces are trying to clamp down on these criminal elements, let the government on the other side involve the communities to reach out to those concerned and do the needful.
Well,
Unless
Mr. Ahmed,
we do that, the cycle of violence, especially in that axis, seems to be continuing.
So
that is my take on this.
Indeed, as we begin to wind down, I just want to get some things clear, because you've tried to lay out rather this issue succinctly. You've described it as community banditry. You also said that this is some sort of reprisal attack, yes, in that sense. And you said that these people are known by the community. They're not people from outside in that sense. And each time we hear that, I mean, it begs more questions. So does that mean, on one hand, the people are, in quote, romancing these bandits within their community, or they are living in fear at the same time? But you'd expect that if they're living in fear, to at least go the extra mile to involve security and say, well, this is where these people are. They're amongst us, and we need you to help us get them out. And I want to tie this to what former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said in his post about this attack, saying that the current government is aloof and in denial of worsening security situation, and continues to operate as if nothing is wrong, remaining detached from the anguish of ordinary Nigerians. So where exactly is a failure here, or who is dropping the ball? Is it the people in the community? Is it the security agencies, or from the very top? I am talking the government now at the center.
You see, what I'm saying on the aspect of a whole society approach is that everybody should be involved. There's no time for blame game. We should not politicize the issue of security. No, what we need to do is let us assist the government to do the needful. Because by the time we continue to push blames on the security agencies, on the government, or on the communities, then the criminal elements will take advantage of that. I think what we should do is let everybody be involved, a whole society approach from top to bottom, from bottom to top. Let us, even in the United Nations, part of the charter for fighting terrorism is that you should identify factors responsible. You see, criminal elements cannot just wake up by the day and go and attack a mosque. What happened before the attack? What led them to do that? Unless we understand that aspect, we will continue to go around and until we are tired without finding a solution. But when we go deep down, we identify the factors responsible and those responsible, which I told you, members of the communities, if you beat them, they can tell you this native intelligence. But they are not being consulted. So let the traditional institutions be consulted, let the community leaders be consulted, let the religious leaders be consulted, let them have a round table, let the government facilitate this. And I think that's why the federal government should come in quickly, provide this platform, because these pockets of problems we're having in the Northwest, unless we do a whole society approach, involve the relevant stakeholders to address these concerns, it will continue. You can remember what happened in the Northeast on this issue of Boko Haram and what have you, and what is playing in most part of the northern country. The issue is, unless you involve members of the community to tackle this problem, the criminals will continue. Because those that are sponsoring them are in the communities, those that are shielding them are in the communities, and those that are offending them are also in the communities.
Right.
So these three factors, what remains is let everybody be involved. What has gone wrong? From people that are naturally peaceful, that are relatives, that have grown together and now are fighting each other.
Right.
What happened? What is leading to this problem? What is leading to this cycle of violence?
And these are the big questions, Mr. Ahmed.
Yeah.
You can land on that thought as we close quickly.
Okay.
You were saying what we understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, you see, if we involve everybody, people know who are responsible, they know what happened, they know what led to the violence, then the government should utilize that native intelligence to handle the situation. But now if we continue to do the blame game, tempers are high, we will lose focus, and the criminal elements will take advantage of this.
And I think that's
But
a
let
great
us
place
involve everybody. Yeah.
to anchor,
That's
really. We have to thank you for your interventions. Very important, at least being someone on the ground, being in government, you understand these issues. So we thank you for your time, Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed, former special advisor to former Katsina State Governor on security matters. Well, thank you once again. I wish the people the very best as we continue to follow this story. So that's the latest on the Katsina situation. At first, the death toll from that Tuesday attack was 15, rose to 17, but now it is at 32. Bandits attacking that mosque and shooting worshippers who were trying to pray. They had said that they had put out word to security agencies who came and then left before the attack happened.